In today's video, we'll talk about some of the best picks in the solo queue for the month of July 2024. These heroes were chosen based on the official data from the developers, original server and advanced server updates, and also feedback from former and current Immortal players. And finally, we'll also share some recommendations for each hero that will certainly help you gain more wins. If you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like, share, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Minotaur reigns supreme when it comes to crowd control and team support. His massive skill range lets him lock down multiple enemies with ease. Both his first skill and ultimate pose a serious threat to teams lacking cleansing abilities, leaving them vulnerable. But Minotaur is not just about control, he's also capable of providing much-needed healing thanks to his second skill. Activating his ultimate triggers a rage mode, amplifying his skills. While enraged, his first skill's range and damage are dramatically increased, while his second skill allows him to convert received damage from basic attacks into HP, making him a beefy frontline presence. Barats brings serious versatility to the battlefield. His passive grants stacks that boost his defenses, magic resistance, and physical damage all at once. This unique buff allows him to dish out surprising damage even without using damage items. On top of that, his ultimate lets Detna devour an enemy hero, suppressing them and dealing a chunk of damage. He can then choose to spit them out at another enemy, potentially causing a stun and further mayhem. Atlas is one of the best tanks when it comes to control effects. His ultimate is capable of flipping even losing battles because of its ability to chain down and pull multiple enemy heroes in the air, which potentially gives his teammates a strong chance of wiping out the opposing team. Not to mention that his passive skill gives him an aura that lasts for 5 seconds, which gradually slows down nearby enemy heroes. If the enemy heroes fail to get out of his activated passive skill's range, they will eventually get frozen. This passive skill of his is the reason why sometimes his second skill is enough to pin down a number of enemies, especially since his second skill has a decent gap closing potential thanks to the temporary bonus movement speed it provides. Nathan's passive skill allows him to deal bonus damage since its projectile returns to Nathan, and whenever it does, it deals extra bonus damage which also inherits basic attack effects. In addition to that, he also gains a stack which grants him temporary bonus movement and attack speed bonuses. His second skill allows him to knock back and displace enemy heroes, which is good in outplaying opponents, while his ultimate allows him to conjure a mirror image that also deals damage simultaneously while Nathan is attacking. This makes him an excellent hero in any team fight because he is not only capable of dealing tremendous damage, he is also capable of dealing damage on multiple enemies. Not to mention that he can also teleport and switch places with his mirror image, giving him a fighting chance in case an enemy hero manages to close the gap. Moskov is a marksman with tremendous damage output and mobility. His first skill lets him blink in for a burst of attack speed, while his second skill throws enemies back and stuns them if they hit a wall or another unlucky teammate. Moskov's farming and teamfighting are also top-notch thanks to his passive that pierces through enemies, hitting multiple targets in its path. And to top it all off, his ultimate has global range, dealing damage and letting him teleport right next to the enemy hero he hits, perfect for surprise attacks or clutch takedowns. This marksman is all about aggressive positioning and making enemies regret underestimating him. Popple and Koopa are an amazing and versatile duo. It's unusual for a marksman to be able to fend for themselves without the help of their allies, especially during the laning phase, but thanks to Popple's third skill, they can spot enemies lurking in the shadows of the bushes. The traps they plant are capable of not just providing vision, but can also immobilize and slow enemies within its blast zone. Popple's passive skill allows him to gain stacks whenever his companion, Koopa, deals damage on any hostile unit. Once he gains 3 stacks, Popple's damage will be greatly enhanced. In the late game, his passive skill alone is enough to melt a lot of enemy heroes. What makes Popple and Koopa a terrifying duo, though, is their ultimate. It enhances their movement and attack speed, while also turning Koopa into a feral beast, which enhances their first and second skills, giving both the ability to stun and knock enemies airborne. Terizla is an extremely tanky fighter who becomes even tankier the lower his HP gets thanks to his passive skill that greatly reduces all incoming damage that scales based on how much HP he is missing. His second skill is one of the best non-ultimate skills in the game, thanks to its wide range and 3 stages, allowing him to efficiently clear minions and deal tremendous damage against multiple enemies. Thanks to its huge power scaling, Terminologies doesn't need too many damage items for it to be effective. In fact, because of his playstyle and skill mechanics, Terminologies is better off played with an entire set of defensive items, or if you really want to, at least 1 to 2 damage items. Anything more will compromise his effectiveness and will be counterproductive. His ultimate, if successful, is also very effective in setting up multiple enemies, making Terminologies a terrific part of the team fight. Julian is a hero with tremendous outplay potential. His passive skill is what makes him a very unique fighter. Whenever Julian casts 2 different skills, Julian enhances his remaining skill that is not in cooldown. It takes a while to get used to his kit, especially since you have to be familiar with the right combination in order to enhance the skill you need based on the situation. Freya is a very powerful fighter carry that has good diving and attack sustain. Her passive skill gives her temporary bonus attack speed, which helps make her less reliable on attack speed items, allowing the player to focus on either defense or greater attack damage and penetration instead. Her first skill is a decent diving and chase down ability thanks to its leaping distance and slight but useful vacuum effect that pulls her prey closer to her. Her second skill, on the other hand, is one of the best in the game when it comes to reaping enemies to shreds, since it has 3 stages, each stage dealing decent damage, slows enemies, and can also knock them airborne. Not to mention that it also provides a shield, which makes it significantly more challenging to take her down. Her ultimate is a skill that can create an unfair advantage against a lot of heroes. It improves her basic attack range dramatically, gives her a thick shield, and bonus damage. Xavier packs a serious punch, but caution is key. This long-range mage deals devastating damage and controls the battlefield with his abilities. However, he's incredibly fragile, so think twice before leaving the shadows. Time your attacks perfectly for last hits on minions or clutch teamfight appearances. To unleash his full potential, master the art of map awareness and strike when the opportunity arises, then melt away before the enemy can retaliate. Xavier is a high-risk, high-reward hero perfect for skilled players. Louis is an amazing utility mage that can help her teammates travel across far distances thanks to her ultimate. She also has incredible damage output thanks to her first skill and second skill combo, which is further enhanced by her passive skill, enabling her to not just deal tremendous damage, but also slow, stun, and vacuum enemy heroes together. Harith rewrites the rules of mage combat thanks to his nimbleness and agility. He unleashes a torrent of magic damage while simultaneously cloaking himself in near-impenetrable shields. But Harith isn't just a damage sponge, he's a master of mobility too. His dashes allow him to zip around the battlefield, making him a terror in chaotic teamfights. This potent blend of offense, defense, and agility makes Harith a nightmare to duel and a slippery foe to pin down. Angela redefines the support role with her game-changing ultimate. This ability allows her to swing the tide of battle in your favor almost anywhere on the map. Her second skill adds another layer of annoyance for enemies. It slows them down and eventually immobilizes them if they don't break free. The beauty of Angela's support style lies in her global presence. Unlike other supports who need to be in the thick of things, Angela can provide crucial assistance from a safe distance, making her a much harder target for enemy ganks. Remember, a dead support is a useless support. Florin stands out as a support with a game-changing ultimate. It grants her allies complete immunity to life drain effects, rendering items like Dominance Ice, Sea Halberd, and Glowing Wand useless against her potent healing. But that's not all. Her passive skill allows her to bestow the Flower of Hope upon a chosen teammate. This magical item empowers them with significant bonus stats without sacrificing any precious item slots, making them a stronger force on the battlefield. Estus reigns supreme as a healing powerhouse. His ultimate is unmatched, unleashing a powerful heal on nearby allies tethered to him. However, his effectiveness relies heavily on maintaining those tethers, so positioning is key. While Estus' healing is a force to be reckoned with, his fragility is his Achilles heel. He requires significant investment in defensive items to ensure he stays alive and keeps the healing flowing. Hayabusa does require some practice before you are able to play him effectively. You also have to have a very high attention span, but once you get the hang of it, he can be very deadly and is capable of bypassing defenders with ease. His ultimate is probably the best turret diving skill thanks to its ability to turn Hayabusa untargetable during its entire skill animation. In order to be more effective, Hayabusa can use his second skill to dive in, then his first skill to throw shurikens on his target, which then applies stacks on his prey. The stacks come from his passive skill, which allows Hayabusa's attacks to mark the target, each mark increasing his damage by 5% up to 4 times. Once Hayabusa's barrage of attacks are done, he can then recast his second skill to fall back as needed or go to another prey. Again, it requires practice and very good field awareness, but as long as you have those skills as a player, picking Hayabusa is a good way of helping you get win streaks. He is a versatile carry, unpredictable in the right conditions, and is probably the coolest hero in the Land of Dawn. Helcurt thrives in the shadows, excelling in both roaming and jungling roles. His passive skill grants him exceptional awareness, letting him sense nearby enemies even in hidden areas like bushes. This sixth sense warns Helcurt players of potential ganks and informs them of hidden dangers lurking in the jungle. With this edge and information, Helcurt can effectively hunt down enemies or make strategic escapes himself. Also, thanks again to his passive skill, Helcurt can regenerate his lost HP quickly while outside of enemy vision. This makes him a very capable in-and-out hero that can return to losing fights and gain an advantage over regenerated HP, or a hero that can easily keep joining separate clashes. Harley is an assassin in the body of a mage. What makes him deadly is his ultimate that allows him to cast a ring around a single target, which slows their movement and increases their hitbox. The ring remains attached to the target for a few seconds. While the ring is attached, Harley can keep attacking the same target. Eventually, the ring will explode, dealing magic damage, which also applies 30% of the magic damage Harley dealt while the ring was active. His ultimate is not powerful on its own though. Harley needs to also use his first skill and basic attacks, which also deals magic damage thanks to his passive skill that not just reduces the target's magic defense, but also converts Harley's basic attack damage to magic damage. Not to mention that his second skill is one of the most powerful chase down and escape skills in the game. It allows Harley to blink, increase his movement speed temporarily, and if recasted, return to his original spot instantly. There you go. Those are the heroes that we think will leave a mark in July 2024. What do you think? If you were to replace some of the heroes here, who would it be and who would you replace it with? Leave your thoughts on the comments section below, and if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Stay safe everyone. Peace.